Alright, this stupid front contraption. How does this work? Okay, it's rolling. This is Sergeant Brian Howard recording. At 0500 hours on September 17th, 1995, we in the United Nations received a distressing call to action. New York City, the biggest city in the entire world, a trademark in the name of America. And this city is protected by the KPU, the Kaiju Prevention Unit. Now, what is the KPU, and why does it exist? Well, allow me to give you a bit of history. You see, to explain our division's goals, first we must revisit the year 1954, not too long after the end of the Second World War. It was at this time that the world was awoken to a startling truth, that the world still holds many dark, destructive secrets. A monster, buried in time and resurfaced. The monster was labeled Godzilla, translating in English to Godzilla. In one night of misfortune, the city of Tokyo was left in ashes. Hundreds of thousands laying dead. It was a night of pure chaos and death. Godzilla was born out of war's destructive arrogance, but eventually, the Japanese constructed a weapon capable of destroying such a creature. The oxygen destroyer. And with a much-needed morning of success, Godzilla was defeated. The beast was reduced to a skeleton. And for years to come, the nightmares of Godzilla was forgotten. But in the year 1974, a new creature showed its face. This is Rodan, a massive creature resembling an extinct avian reptile from a bygone age. This creature exhibited no hostile intent unless provoked. Afterwards, several more creatures of massive size showed their faces. Methuselah, Xanda, Pharaon, and Anguirus, just to name a few. But neither of which were accustomed to living in the ocean, which made our next finding all the more concerning. On October 26, 1978, a fishing vessel was found by the U.S. government, a massive gash in the hull. This was no human attack. This was clearly a beast of the depths below. 18 men were on that ship, none of which were found in the wreckage. No witnesses, not a clue as to which creature could have done such a thing. Methuselah, Pharaon, Xanda, and Anguirus are terrestrial, and have never once shown interest in the sea. And Rodan, while displaying migratory tendencies near Rio de Janeiro, would not attack any man-made craft unless given any reason. This ship was sunk, not carried. But not too long after, more and more ships were found, torn to pieces by the same culprit, and not a single sign of life on either one. These fishing ships were a vital part of Japan's stock market, and without them, they began to suffer exponentially. We in the United States have come to their aid in this hour of need. 6 years later, we received a call. Multiple cases of people in Japan dying from the fish we donated due to a strange sickness. Once word of this got us, so the incident required an intense investigation. visiting the locations that the ships sailed to during their route. And yet, nothing was found. Nothing, that is, except schools upon schools of dead fish floating everywhere. But one night, our answer came. As if it were a hurricane, San Francisco was left in rubble. 1,807 people dead. Officers of the KPU interviewed the survivors and asked them what happened. Many were too paralyzed in their fear to even speak. Except for one. The citizen, who shall remain anonymous, asked if he could draw what he had seen. This is what he shared. This creature bears a resemblance to the monster Godzilla from 1954, but with a more hideous, monstrous appearance. Several of the victims claimed in the attack were burned to a skeleton by some atomic fire. I will not sugarcoat the situation. This is a dark time. Stock markets plummeting, ships destroyed, now innocents suffering what can only be described as a nuclear attack. But we at the KPU are here. If you find any sign of this new creature, contact this number below. You can count on us. Please stay tuned for further updates.
This is a severe emergency alert. A massive outbreak of radiation sickness threatens to spread to reach epidemic levels. This sickness can come from any contact with the ocean. The death toll of the ocean's fish is incalculable. A massive recall of all fish-related foods has been called for. If you experience any of the following: fever, rash, or burning insides, please get in touch with your local authorities immediately. Do not make contact with other people. Any contact will spread the virus even further. As an added measure of safety, all beaches in the US will be closed until further notice. If anyone comes to your door asking to come indoors, please decline. Be sure to wipe down all touchable surfaces in your home. Protect yourself. Protect humanity.